Mission is to help 1 million couples. Dr. Vandy and Barbara Colter are committed to reaching this goal. Love and Happiness has helped thousands over the years through their couples retreats hosted in various cities. Their popular Central Florida TV show, Love and Happiness, has been syndicated in several states. Their best-selling book, Love and Happiness: The Secrets to Creating Winning Relationships, has helped singles and couples alike learn how to build better relationships. It's no surprise that the Colters are in high demand. Relationship subject matter experts featured on talk shows and national radio looking for real relationship talk. The Colters' virtual retreats, social media platforms, Facebook live streams, and relationship masterclasses have put their mission to help 1 million couples in their sights. Dr. Vandy Colter, Ph.D., a certified counselor with presidential status in the American Association of Christian Counselors, has a virtual counseling practice that serves CEOs, pastors, entrepreneurs, individuals, and couples who want their relationship to go from bad to good or good to great. Dr. Vandy has been featured on Fox, CBS, NBC, their national affiliates, and various media for the impact from his virtual counseling as a response to the relational health crisis during the COVID pandemic. Dr. Barbara Colter, real estate investor and serial entrepreneur, complements and contributes to what makes Love and Happiness the perfect blend of real talk and fun. Our motto is no one gets their happily ever after. They create their happily ever after. After the hurt, after the disappointment, you can still be happy. And Love and Happiness is just what you need to have.
All right, welcome. We are ready to have a great conversation.
Happy Saturday.
You said help. I don't know if you asking for help or if you say we want help.
Long morning already. It's just like,
yeah,
it's only 11.
But it's good.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about something that's really powerful because a lot of times couples really aren't sure how to make their relationship massively better. And you're going to be really shocked when you find out how fast it could become if you choose to do these 4 things we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I think so.
4 things.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to kind of start us off with, what we're talking about. I'm going to make it better for you. All right? I'm going to make it really easy peasy.
So yeah, I think, in my opinion, one of the 4 things that could make your relationship massively better quickly is to be a better partner. Don't look outside for answers. Don't point or look at your spouse to make it better. Look at you. What could you do?
In terms of being a better partner, because I can tell that you're rushed. She just got off the road, ran in and jumped on. So let's talk about what makes a better partner first. Okay, let's give the people what they want. All right. So what makes a better relationship, right? Because a lot of times the focus is so much on your mate that you're not putting enough focus on yourself to realize. And as I say, focus on someone outside of yourself, let me say, please take a second because sharing is caring.
Yes.
And just share. All right?
I think that
I was still talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Really ain't here. I was saying that a lot of times when folk are focused on their mate, they actually lose sight of what they should be doing different to make the relationship better. And part of that is for them to become a better partner.
Yes.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yes.
And let's talk about how each of us can be focused on our own self to be better for our mate.
Yeah, I think one of the things is to do a self-diagnostic on yourself and the areas that you know you are weak. Make a decision to grow and have an open mind to, actually just, people want to just look at the good parts of themselves where I'm a good person. I do so-and-so, I buy Girl Scout cookies or whatever, but they don't want to look at their blind spots and recognize, okay, you know what? I am a little temperamental, or you know what, I am a little judgmental, or you know what, I am a little assertive in certain areas, or I am a little critical. I do, nitpick my mate. I do, but basically just take a look at yourself. Go, how can I be a better person? Self-growth.
Right.
Even if you go buy a book about, how to mature, or how to just elevate your mind, elevate your thinking. Becoming a better partner is becoming a better you.
And I think that self-growth is a journey that's sometimes hard, because a lot of times you have to confront yourself and you have to look at some parts of you that are less comely, less attractive.
Right.
And I think a lot of people find it easier to, like to know what you think, to look at the good things. It's easier to look at what they do strong.
Yes.
I'm just rephrasing it.
Thank you, Dave.
That if they're focused on what they do well, they will have the blind spot, as you mentioned. And I think they cheat themselves from real growth. A lot of times when we hear what we're not doing well, we process that as chastisement. Your mate is trying to, tell you what you're not. And if you have like already existing self-esteem issues, I think it becomes real problematic when you're trying to hear somebody who loves you, but you're filtering it through, muddy ears of, oh, so I'm not good enough. Oh, so I'm, and it's like, no, we're not saying that. What we're really saying is, in this particular area, there's room for growth. There's room to be better.
Right.
And I think it's hard for people to put the mirror to themselves. And I think that even if they read a book, they'll read the book thinking, yeah, this will help them. And if they have a conversation, they're like, yeah, that's what she needs. That's what he needs. And if one of the things that I just wanted to hammer is, if we look at ourselves more, if we just look, and I'd love to know what you all think about the process to self-growth, self-development, because I think it's a challenge. I think that if you've been this way a long time and you've been enabled because people around you never challenged you or called you out on it, it almost becomes like it's licensed now. It's like law. It's good behavior in your eyes because they haven't checked you and said, and then when somebody tries to help you with it, you're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody else had a problem.
Right. I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But honestly, truth be told, I think everyone knows their trigger point where they need to, but they just won't acknowledge it. But I like to, I'm analytical. I like to write down on a piece of paper. So I do, where I need to grow at. What things 2 things or 3 things I need to change about myself or improve. How can I be a better version of me?
Yeah.
And I think that takes a level of maturity to know that we all need to grow. It doesn't. It's not even about an age. Yeah. It's not like, well, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 20, I'm 8, whatever. It's I need to grow. I want to be a better version of me, for me and for other people.
No, I agree completely. I would just say, because you just made 2 different truths, and it really supplements the point I have, that 2 things could be true at the same time.
Okay.
You said that it's a blind spot.
It is.
And then you said deep down they already know. But if it's a blind spot, it implies it's a spot you can't see. So all I'm saying is both things can be true at the same time. You don't have to take one from the other to say, yeah, like people do have blind spots, and they also deep down have a sense of where they're not the best version of themselves. So I think it's both, because you said both, and I'm just saying, I think that made me realize 2 things could be true.
Because I remember we talked about, I think it was last week, was it, when I touched on me being judgmental, and how before you even said it,
I didn't say anything. Did I call her judgmental last week?
No, I'm talking about in the process of our relationship. I had been hearing it. Now we're talking about back in the
third date. I was like,
But I although
Judge
I knew
Gavilan and robe and everything.
I told you those Pentecostal roots we were. Come on now, everybody look.
So there's some Pentecostal people who are not judgmental.
I'm talking about.
Okay, so wait. So here's a great opportunity.
Now, this is true, Vandy.
Here's a great. I won't let you lose your thought, but here's a great opportunity. One of the things that make it hard for people back then to see it is when we group ourselves into a group that almost license and justifies behavior.
And that's
so
true.
let me just say,
okay.
You just said like, hey, like that's how all us Pentecostals are. And there are some Pentecostal people who are very, very non-judgmental, very, very. I don't have to have met them. I'm not new school, but then that if you say
Now listen.
that everyone in your season of Pentecostal was judgmental, I would say that's a flawed statement. It can't be true. There was some people who weren't judgmental, and all I'm trying to say is sometimes it's easier to say, no, we're all like this, instead of just saying maybe you're like that. I get it. That's
okay, so I'm talking about I don't want to tell my age, but back in the 70s and 80s,
right?
When I grew up, I'm a PK.
Okay.
When I grew up,
right,
and because Pentecostals, it's different when I grew up in the 70s and 80s when you couldn't wear pants, you couldn't wear nail polish, women couldn't wear makeup or jewelry, women couldn't do, and we did have a holier than thou. We're better than the Baptists. We're better than, because we don't drink, we don't smoke. So there is a stigma. Everything.
I'm just saying, not every. We're talking about being a better partner. I'll rescue you from
the judgment thing was there, and it was real. I've grown,
and you have grown.
I've grown, but my point is,
can somebody say sore spot?
Be quiet. No. Well, my point is, sweetheart, I don't get too far away from it. Although I know I had that judgmental spirit. It was also a blind spot because I buried it That's
why I said two things could be true.
But
you just supplemented. You just made that point.
People know, but they try to hide.
No, but see, what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
On the day I heard you being, and we're going to use this in being a better partner because it's a great example. On the day I heard you being judgmental, it was a blind spot. You was not sitting there saying, I am your judge.
No.
When you was talking to that person, you was not, I'm judging you. I'm telling you, I'm lording over you like I have all the answers. You was just, it was a blind spot on that day. When I pointed it out, maybe there was some self-awareness to go, I have heard this before from everyone in your family, right? You heard it forever, but then here comes a new guy into your life, and I'm just, it's like the neighbor who happens to say it after the parents say it 90 times, and then the kid is like, got it, and the parents are like, I done said that to you for 6 years. So all I'm saying is it was a blind spot on that day, because you wouldn't have did it if you was, kind of woke. And then you got self-aware and to look and go, yeah, everyone said it. So I'm just saying two things could be true.
Two things can be true.
That's all.
I like that point.
Yes.
But again, back to the point.
Yes.
I'm talking about being a better partner.
Yes.
Honestly, just recognizing and just, because you can't lie to yourself. I mean, you can lie to everybody else, but you can't. Right. You know who you are.
So can we get to the other three, because they're pretty cool.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. So another thing that you can do to make your relationship massively better right away is focus on the issues and not the individual.
I love that.
Because so many times people can't make the main thing the main thing.
Right.
They just, because they bring all the other resentment, frustration, the I can't believe we're still dealing with this, the why can't you understand by now, you don't understand me. They bring all of that in, and it clouds the whole ability for communication to be on the main thing.
I think people, they never cry over the spilled milk. It's the things that happen before the milk got spilled. But they bring it in that moment. They bring everything else in that moment. It's like one person thinks we're actually talking about what happened, and the other person's like, no, I'm back in 1987.
But honestly, both parties are really, it's a banana peel and a slippery slope that I think both people can slide into focusing on the spilled milk and never what happened to cause it to spill.
Right.
I don't even think one person is like, I've got the main thing all the time, because in our humanity, if you trigger some negative response from me, I'm not in the mood to focus. I want to respond to that negative thing. And now we're both focusing on the negative thing instead of the main thing. So I just think that, it's a slippery slope, and one or both should be working on the ability to always take a step back and say, wait, what are we really talking about here? What are we really, and that pursuit of what I call discovery, to say, like, what are we, before you get offended, get curious. When your mate is saying something that totally rubs you the wrong way, and you have that opportunity, that temptation to be offended, try to develop a different skill set over the offense to say, let me ask, what are they really saying before I get offended? Because I call that a 3-point shot. You can take offense anytime. You don't have to do it right away. what are we really talking about? Because you just said that in a way that could be, that was kind of offensive.
Right.
What are we talking about? And kind of walk it backwards. And if they say, yeah, I meant it that way, well, then maybe you do get offended because you should be offended. It was offensive. So the first thing is be a better partner yourself.
Right. The second thing is focus on the issue at hand.
Yes.
The main thing is you always say.
Right. Make the main thing the main thing. The third thing that will make your relationship tremendously better, and these may seem like not jazzy things, but these are the like meat and potatoes of a good relationship. When you become a better you, the relationship becomes better.
That's it. You change, everything changes.
That's right. You change,
and that can go. And I can go two ways.
Right.
If you change for the better, everything will change for the better. But if you change for the worse, but you changing for the better, growing.
Preach this. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And the third thing would be what? This is really good.
Yeah, take responsibility. Take ownership of your part in making the relationship rough or making the relationship bad. Because when it gets bad, we just really look at the other person for hours. We really don't look in the mirror and say, now, where did I go wrong? Not honestly, but to just say, how can I be better? How can I have responded better? What can I say different? Should I hold on to this anger?
Why do I always blow up at this point? How can I not? Why do I always lose control? In
an effort to discover why, so you can kind of reverse engineer a kind of like formula or an antidote to that behavior.
I agree.
Not just pick it apart and then you start saying, "Oh, I'm a terrible mate. I'm bad. I'm no."
It's not about that.
Just reverse it, like like they make snake antidote to venom from snake venom. And likewise with viruses and other things, they typically use something in that. So use the negative to create the positive, to say, you know what, I got to create a better version of me. So I gotta take the negative behavior, and then I have to kind of dissect what is failing about it, and I got to turn it around so I can respond positive.
So as far as the taking the responsibility, why do you, in your practice, do you find often that people, they just don't want to take responsibility because of, they feel like what is the main thing? It's like it shines a light.
Well, you asked two questions.
Okay.
Do I find people generally want to take responsibility?
No, don't want.
Or don't want to. Right. And do they have a hard time
admitting? Because if you take responsibility for something that went wrong or that's going wrong, why do you find in your practice a lot of people won't take that responsibility?
It's weird. If it depends on the stage they come. Okay. If a couple comes for counseling early, then it may be harder for them to see their role in it because it's still kind of like muddy and murky. But so many people look for counseling like the way we look for the fire department. When the house is on fire, you call for the fire department. You really don't call for the fire department when you just got a little smoke in the room and you're just like, open a few windows, it's smoky. But when the sofa's on fire and the drapes are on fire, we have to call the fire alarm. And when you see a fire truck going, there's a fire. And when the relationship is burning up before their very eyes, usually they are both, if they're in that space of we want to fix this, there's a level of kind of equity in taking responsibility. Okay. They're kind of both are willing to say, yeah, we haven't been doing this right. I haven't, she hasn't. And they're ready to kind of focus on what to do better. But if they come in the early stages where it's not on fire, if their focus is on being healthy and better, and that's the smartest time, because you really aren't getting counseling until you allow the fire to be put out. Other than that, I call it the emergency room triage. When you come because it's on fire, you go to the hospital because you're shot. Nobody is taking time to check your vitals. Nobody's taking the time to see how, what your cholesterol level is. They just want to treat the gunshot. Right. But after the gunshot, if you do follow-up care, that's the long-term healthy, long-term life of a relationship, when you just say, hey, we just want to make sure we have the right understanding. We know how to eat the right issues and how to, throw away the bones kind of thing. That's different. So I think it depends, because taking responsibility in the beginning, you start to look at what the other person doesn't do right. When it's all on fire and you're like, oh my God, we may lose ourselves in this. Now I have to look at myself. You know, I think generally that's what I find. Most of the couples are generally there.
Well,
The
that's
fourth thing
good.
that close them out.
This is good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I don't.
It's good, but it's hard.
It says complain without blame, but I don't like to say complain. I just think I would prefer saying bring the issue at hand and point it out.
Well, point out the issue without pointing the finger.
Yeah, point out the issue without point the issue out without pointing the finger.
Yes.
Because automatically when you point the finger, your mate's gonna feel defensive. He or she's gonna feel like, oh, really, you coming at me?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hard to receive or resolve the issue.
Right.
You know, if you go pointing, but just, you know, because you can't ignore the pink elephant in the room. It really burns me up. We cannot ignore the pink elephant. Y'all see it here. But how can we, you know, resolve this issue? How can we work through this? How can we address this without, you know, someone getting offended? You know, you blaming me.
But the important thing is to, like you're leading with, is you have to be able to point out the problem. But the key is, a lot of times people are so thin-skinned, they're so sensitive that it feels like you're pointing a finger at me instead of just the issue. So you have to really be focused and intentional to say, listen, I don't want this to become about you or me. I want us to focus on this problem, because this problem robs us from our intimacy. It robs us from an opportunity for us to be better. This is the problem, not you, not me. Can we agree?
How we are handling this is the problem, or how we're not handling this is the problem.
But the key is to get both parties to agree that neither one of us is coming at the other. We're only talking about how to fix it.
How to put the oxygen back in our relationship.
And what the fix is, and you have to leave words out like you and
always,
never,
always,
never, anything that can rub the other person as if like, what? So I haven't done anything?
I'm always reacting to you. No, you got a problem.
Yeah. So it's really about, and really any healthy relationship is really being able to it's no such thing as, I think, as healthy criticism, you know, because criticism tears down. Right. But you can have healthy communication where you can be open enough to talk about what is tearing down the relationship. That's good. You know, I think that would be the difference maker for me.
That's good. That's good. A lot of times, a mediator is necessary. Not trying to plug you there, but a mediator, someone who's going to be objective, a third party is going to be objective, not your mama, not your girlfriends and them, not your cousins, and none of that kind of, just a professional that can, you know, just can give you both objective, some advice that would help, you know, fix things. Because oftentimes I know if you turn to a relative or a friend, or they're going to be biased and they're not going to really give you the answers you need.
You kind of touched it. One of the things that I think is important is to understand that anyone can give advice, but trained professionals can give you tools. Right. And if you're not getting specific keys, tools, methods to resolve those issues, then that's just advice.
That's right.
And I would caution people to know the difference. In the context of the conflict, there should be some tools to build a bridge between where you want to go and where you are. That's good. And a lot of times people just are throwing advice out and not giving tools. And if you walk away from a session with me without a tool, I've failed you. You have to leave. I make it an intentional point that you leave with something to do that will work towards better. And how fast it works, you know, it's like everything. It works if you work it.
Right.
But at least you have something to work with versus, in my opinion, you know,
I agree 100%.
Pray harder.
No. But these four things, you know, it will definitely, these are huge, massive, yet practical things that can actually speed up, accelerate relationship getting better, taking responsibility, you know, just making sure that you become a better you for your partner and for yourself. Yeah. And, you know, present the issue without,
everyone
pointing the finger. Yeah. And what was the second one?
The second one? I'm sorry. I was looking at saying hi to the people who were there.
Okay, we'll scroll back down.
I wasn't listening. What am I scrolling to?
No, I'm just saying the four things.
Oh, you're naming the four things. Oh, okay.
You know, focus on the issue at hand.
I'm back. I'm here.
Take responsibility. You
Y'all
know, and just present the issue without pointing the finger.
Okay.
Yeah, not just you can.
So you outlined all four.
Yeah, I did.
All right, good deal. Because I wasn't. I was here. I'm in the social land of just the So thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
And we are really excited about some things we're getting ready to do. I thought I'd have them all together to make the big announcement today, but I don't, because it's been an amazing week of a lot of great stuff. So that great stuff has really just gotten in the way of my time to finish everything. So probably in a week or two, just to give myself room, we will have some great things to announce that you guys will just love and benefit from. Okay. Yeah. So pretty cool. So as you watch, you'll be first to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great weekend.
All right.